Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I decided it was time to go through my physical TBR and see how many unread books I physically own. I was looking through my old videos and I thought I had done one much more recently, but it actually has been 2 years since I went through all of the physical unread books that I own. And I guess this video is kind of a push to hopefully force myself into reading all of these books that I own. The last time I went through my stack of unread books was in February of 2021, and in that video I think I had about 19 or 20 unread books. I am happy to say that in this list I'm only going to have, I believe, 3 repeats from that 2021 video. Not to say I actually read all 20 of those books, but I finally got my stuff together and realized there are books that I am never going to read, I'm never going to pick up. I've tried and I just can't get through it. It's clearly not the book for me. I need to find it a different home. I'm hoping that a similar pattern will emerge after I do this video. I'll realize what books I'm definitely not going to touch and get them to other readers who are going to enjoy them and reread them over and over again. I probably won't go a lot into the synopsis because, as we know, that is my least favorite thing to do. So I'm going to try and give you very brief overviews of these books. With all of that being said, let's get into the physical unread books that I own. And first up, I have Star Eater by Kirsten Hall, and this is actually a book that my husband gifted to me right before we got married, I want to say. So it's been about a good year that it has been sitting on my shelf. I know it is about a very matriarchal sisterhood, and they have some kind of magic that the main character realizes that in order to keep that magic flowing and alive and thriving, some pretty horrific things have to happen, and she realizes that she's really not that into this sisterhood. Or at least that's what I got from the synopsis. I could be completely wrong. This one I know isn't one that I'm going to get rid of because it does sound interesting to me. I just need to find the time to actually sit down and read the freaking thing. And next up is Of Wicked Blood by Olivia Wildstein and Katie Hayes, and I believe this is the first book in the Quatrio Chronicles. So sorry if I'm butchering that, but I did get this in a Fake Crate subscription box, I'm pretty sure. And the only reason I have not gotten rid of this book is the stunning book that lies under the dust jacket. I mean, that is so pretty. And as we all know, I am a sucker for a beautiful book, and my is this beautiful. I mean, absolutely stunning. We have artwork on the reverse side of the dust jacket. Couldn't tell you off the top of my head what this book is about, but it is stunning. And now I'm actually kind of peeved at myself because I believe Fake Crate came out with the other books in the series in this same style. So obviously we had a matching set and I didn't get them. And now I will never have a matching set because I promised you those resales, hundreds and hundreds of dollars at least. Sadly, I have missed out. I'm hoping I don't like it and then maybe I can just resell this, but who knows? I need to get to it. I'm not really sure what this book is about. I know it's fantasy. I'll read this and let you know, but this is just so beautiful. I would hate to part with this, but I also would hate to have an incomplete series. And next up, I have Black Paradox by Junji Ito. If you did not watch my October reading vlog, I am trying to get into more Junji Ito stories. I am such a little baby when it comes to horror. I could never sit down and watch a full horror movie, but I have heard that Junji Ito is like the king of horror manga, and I thought maybe, you know, pictures first, story, and then we'll slowly get into scary movies because my husband loves them. So I'm trying to share that joy with him, even though I will never understand why people want to feel scared. He actually got me this book for Valentine's Day because I find it very hard to purchase Junji Ito books myself because they are very, very pricey. This one is actually not a big one. The only other Junji Ito book that I have is Uzumaki, and that one was a thick boy. So this should go by quickly. I believe this is one of the newer releases. I think I might have been holding it backward. It goes like this. Trigger warning for this book, just reading the very short synopsis on the back. This does seem to be about 4 people who are very intent on killing themselves. So I would just do a little bit more research on this book before picking it up. And actually, as I'm going through these books live on camera, I actually have a little bit of repeats from that 2021 video. Like 5 or 6. I still haven't gotten around to Inferno by Dante Alighieri, which is a classic story about Dante and Virgil and their journey through the 7 or 9 circles of hell. I can never remember how many there are. I really like this copy just because it's embossed leather and it just looks really cool. Something about classic books or novels is very intimidating to me just because I think I'm going to find it too boring. I'm hoping this one will be more of an enjoyable classical read, and I won't get rid of this one. I know it's been sitting on my shelf for a really long time, but I love this copy too much to let it go. Next up is Yolk by Mary H.K. Choi. This one was a very popular read when it came out, and it's the reason why I picked it up. I believe I actually read her book Emergency Contact. I think I gave it a 3 stars. I thought it was okay, but it didn't really touch me on a spiritual level or anything. I have heard really good things about this one, that it's very touching, very emotional, definitely gives you all of the feels. And just very quickly before I forget, according to the synopsis, this seems to be a story about 2 sisters who were once thick as thieves, you know, best friends, and then something happens, or you know, just life as they're growing, they start to drift away from each other until they want absolutely nothing to do with one another, until one of them unfortunately gets cancer. They're kind of forced to mend that relationship, and I'm assuming try to get to that place that they once were. It sounds like a toughie, but so many people have said great things. Another one on my physical TBR is Daughter of the Burning City by Amanda Foody. I love this book because it's purple and I don't have enough purple books on my shelf. And so this story is about 16-year-old Serena, who has spent her entire life in this festival with this traveling circus who has become her family. However, the thing is that these family members, these circus members, don't actually exist because Serena has a rare talent that allows her to create illusions that other people can see, feel, and touch, and they seem like real people with personalities of their own. They are all just her creations of her talent until one of them ends up being murdered. So how do you murder an illusion? Well, that's what we're trying to figure out in this story. See, there are some synopses that come to me so much more easier than others. The reason I haven't gotten around to this one is because it's not available as an ebook. I just don't have the time to read it as a physical book, and it's not available as an ebook. This one is a newer purchase as well, and this is Demon in the Wood by Lee Bardugo and artwork by Danny Pendergast. And this is obviously part of the Grisha verse. This is, I believe, a prequel on The Darkling. How did this deliciously dark villain come to be? Well, that's what we find out in Demon in the Wood, and this is actually a graphic novel, which is wonderful. And the audiobook is narrated by Mr. Ben Barnes himself, the Darkling in flesh and in person. This one is very high on my TBR. I would say this is probably top 3 physical books that I'm trying to get into, mainly because there is a wonderful audiobook accompanying it, and it's a graphic novel, and I feel like for me personally, graphic novels are just a little bit easier to digest than a regular chapter book. And the next 2 books go hand in hand, the Silver Serpents and the Bronze Beast by Roshani Chokshi. These are books 2 and 3 of the Gilded Wolves trilogy. I absolutely loved the Gilded Wolves, and I have been meaning to get through these. I just lately, like the end of 22 into 23, I haven't really been into fantasies. I'm not really feeling drawn to them, especially like a series. Like that just seems like a lot of investment work, and I have heard that the Silver Serpents is an emotional gut punch. I'm also not really prepared for that. I get really into these books, like I get so emotional, but I know I will eventually get to them. I need the time, I need the right mood. any other mood reader can tell you, if you're not in that particular fantasy mood or series mood, you can't force yourself because it'll just ruin the reading experience. And then I have The Iron Sword by Julie Kagawa, which is the second book in the new final trilogy of the Iron Fae series. I believe it's called Evenfall. And if you saw my anticipated reads video, you know that the third and final book is releasing sometime later this year, but I haven't even gotten around to the second book, and the reason is it's not available as a Kindle ebook. The Libby app through my library has it available, but you have to read it on the Libby app. You can't like read with Kindle. In case you didn't know, almost all of my reading gets done at work through Kindle. Like, I don't know what I would do if Kindle didn't exist. I need Kindle in order to be able to read it at work, and because they still don't have it, I keep avoiding it. And realistically, it is not that thick of a book, so I could probably read this at home if I actually set aside the time to do it, but I have terrible time management skills. Some of these thinner books, like the Junji Ito book and the Grishaverse graphic novel and this one, I'm hoping to read as part of a reading vlog because I feel like that way I'll kind of be forced to read at home. I wanted to leave some of the repeats more towards the end, but as you can obviously tell, that did not work out. But Red Queen by Christina Henry is the sequel to Alice by Christina Henry, which is a dark, gory version or reimagining really of Alice in Wonderland. I still have not gotten around to the second book. I don't think the first book, Alice, impressed me all that much, to be perfectly honest. I know that I wanted to read it just because I love anything Wonderland, but I'm just not rushing to get to it. But I don't think it really is all that long, so maybe I'll include it in that reading vlog. I don't know. I feel like 3 books is pushing it. 4 books might be a bit of a stretch. And then 2 books part of the same series, 13 Rising and Black Moon. I believe this one is the 3rd book and this one is the 4th book of the Zodiac series by Romina Russell. I feel like this was a very unpopular series. It's a very old series, to be honest, but I feel like a lot of people did not enjoy it. I personally loved the first 2 books. I think they were done wonderfully. This is a series that has been sitting on my TBR for a really long time, probably almost as long as the Gilded Wolves. And again, I just feel like longer series than duologies are just such a commitment, and I feel like maybe that's why I've strayed away from them, because I am definitely one who would prefer to consume a series all at once. I'm binge reading the entire series. If I feel like I'm not going to be invested enough or I'm not in the mood to binge read a whole series, I feel like why bother with it? At this point, I need to reread the Zodiac series because it has been so long before I even try and tackle books 3 and 4. So I gotta do that first. And finally, the last book on my physical TBR is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. And I mentioned this in my January wrap up, I believe. Ninth House, my second time around, was so enjoyable. It really hooked you the second time around. So I am super pumped for Hellbent. I am just waiting on the audiobook to come through for my library because I love the narrators from book 1. Hopefully they are the same this time around. I haven't checked. I have heard nothing but great things on my Twitter feed, which gives me such FOMO. And those are all of the books on my physical TBR. I believe it is only 14 books, 14 or 15 books, so not that bad. And I am happy to say I don't think there are any books in this pile at this time that I would want to get rid of. I want to read them. I am very excited, and that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would recommend that you go through your physical TBR and see maybe what are you into, what are you not into. Maybe there's a little book in there that you know you're definitely not going to read. Let me know what book you think I should start with. I know I said I might be starting with some of the thinner ones, but if you've read any of these and you think, no, you need to read this one first, it's amazing, you're going to love it, let me know down in the comments and I will definitely consider it. But other than that, that's it to this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. My name is Elle. I'll see you in next time's video.